Now our last stage is conversion. And obviously in this stage, what we're trying to do is to get people to actually enroll, or in the case where it's not something that people can buy online, so maybe it's a degree program where they have to apply, or maybe it's a corporate learning opportunity, and the best you can hope for is either a lead or an application. So I divide conversions between enrollments or dollars in hand and leads that hopefully are going to lead to dollars in hand at a later point. And you can see here some examples of things that might be considered non-transactional conversions. In other words, we're not making any direct money, but these to me are still conversions when someone completes one of these actions on your website. So if they register for an info session, sign up for your mailing list, contact a student advisor through a Contact Us form, anything like that, even pick up the phone and call, which obviously has some challenges with it from a tracking perspective, but these are all examples of things that people might do that we want them to do, because this indicates a level of interest beyond simply engagement. They're actually interacting with us now. And we have their contact information so we can follow up with them. So how do you improve conversions? You add more calls to actions. Give people more chances to convert. Don't just let them register for classes on your website, but let them sign up for your mailing list. Let them contact you, and put those kind of options on every page and put them prominently. So don't just have a Contact Us button in your menu bar. Put it in the page where people are looking if you really want them to contact you. So here's an example of that. So these 4 options, this again is from the same snapshot of the paralegal certificate homepage, are 4 different call to actions that are directed at people at different stages in the buying process. If they're ready to enroll, go for it. If they want to attend an info session, perfect. Talk with the student advisor. Maybe they have some questions that are still unanswered. Do that, or they can just join our mailing list and just keep informed. But any one of those I would consider to be a conversion. Obviously the ultimate conversion we want is the enrollment in the program, but all of them are conversions. Quick examples of things to avoid or things to watch out for when you're trying to increase your conversions. One thing that we know, and this doesn't come from our industry, but this is a broader statistic, is that forcing people to sign up for an account, which is what you see here. This is Emory University's registration system, and we're actually planning to redesign this in the fall to get around this, but this is the way that the current registration system forces people to enroll, is you have to create a sign-in before you can actually progress and enroll in a course. You have to create an account, get an email with a password and all of that, and we know from research from other industries that forcing people to do this will lower your conversion rate by 30%. So in other words, if you would have gotten 10 enrollments, you're going to get 7 from the website. Now, some of those people may call, but some of them just aren't. Some people just get to this point, and you may have experienced this yourself and just said, I'm not doing that. I just want to take one silly non-credit course, and people just leave and go to a competitor. So forcing them to create an account, not a good idea. And then this is the next page you get to if you make it through the process of creating an account, which is now I have to choose a preferred address. I have to give them a home and a work. You actually don't have to provide both, but it gives you the option of providing both. You have to tell us how you heard about us, and then here are some optional things that you can do even beyond that. And this is just, for many people, frankly, too much information. They're not willing to go to this extent just to register for a course. So be very conscious of how much information you're asking for from people. How much do you absolutely have to get in order to enroll them? And you have to get everything you have to, but cut out anything. Like in this case, it asks for whether your fax number is from the USA or not. And to me, that's not a necessary piece of information to have. Okay. So in measuring conversions, the things that we want to look for here obviously is how many conversions we're getting, what's the rate, how many people abandon the shopping cart, and what's the cost? How much, in other words, how much money does it cost us in marketing dollars, maybe through pay-per-click or email marketing, to get one conversion? This is a measurement of conversion rate over time for a registration system as shown in Google Analytics. And you can see different times of the year. So in early January, a higher percentage of people are converting than in mid-February, and then it starts to go back up again in March. So you're going to see these seasonal differences in your conversion rate always. But the end goal should be from one period in one year to the same period in the next year, see if you can't increase that conversion rate by simplifying your the checkout process on your website, for example. This is some information from Google AdWords showing not only what the conversion rate is in this kind of blown up image here, but also how many dollars it cost to get one of those enrollments. So in this case, $60 for the first one, and then $20 and $30 for the second one, and you can see how many total conversions we got. And then you can compare that cost per conversion to how much you'd be willing to spend or a cost per acquisition number that you come up with, and say, what's it worth to you to get one new enrollment or one new student into your program? So again, Google AdWords and Yahoo Search Marketing has a similar tracking feature which show you this. So those are our 4 stages, and I'll give you a nice kind of summary screenshot of them here. Take a look. So these are the 4 stages going vertically, and then as you can see, we use all of these awareness generation techniques to try to funnel people into our website to get them interested and to keep them there. Then we try to engage them while they're on our website, and finally we're going to try to convert them. But if you'll notice at the bottom of this image, we have metrics that surround all of this, because if we're not measuring each one of these pieces of the process, we don't know whether our efforts are helping or hurting the end goal of improving our conversion rate online. So my takeaways for you as I wrap up, and we'll open it up for questions. Number 1, keep in mind that website marketing or online marketing is not a single activity. It's a process of moving people through 4 stages. And as someone is in a particular stage, your only goal is to get them to the next stage. There are very few people who see an ad on Google and then immediately enroll in a program. They don't move from awareness to conversion very often. So you have to move them just to that next stage, and then let the activities you're doing in the next stage move them to the next. 1 weak stage, remember the bridge image, a single weak stage in your process will cripple your online conversion rate. So it's not enough to have a fantastic click-through rate on pay-per-click marketing or email marketing, but then you've got to actually get people through interest and engagement to convert. And baselining, measuring, and then making changes is the only way that you can do data-driven improvements. So you have to be measuring. Here's a process. This is how we approach this process of converting. First of all, do a website audit. Scan your site. Look for opportunities that you could improve. Prioritize those based on what kind of impact you think they'll have on your return on investment. For instance, if it's going to cost you $5,000 to redesign the checkout process on your website, is it worth it? Is it going to generate that much in revenue or more back to you by improving that checkout process? Measure baseline, so get a measurement of how well the site's performing at the present. Make those improvements to the site, and then measure the results. And in the end, you compare those results after you've made improvements back to the baseline, and hopefully you've seen an improvement. But if not, you make adjustments, or even if you have, maybe there's opportunities for more improvements. So identify opportunities, prioritize them, measure your baseline, improve, and then compare the improvement metrics back to the baseline metrics that you had.